Hi everyone, thanks for joining another Ready to Ride Pilates for Horse Rider session, where today we are going to be focusing on exercises to improve your body awareness and your posture for your lateral work. Most of us, I think, do have a little bit of a tendency to collapse down on one side, particularly with lateral work, or possibly also twist a little bit through our upper body. So these exercises are going to be aimed at improving your awareness and your posture with these sorts of work on the horse. So let's get started, keeping it really simple, and we're going to work with your neck. So before you start, just check that you are straight from the bottom up, equal pressure through your feet, soft knees, headlights forwards, shoulders back and down, and you're going to turn your head from side to side. This seems really simple, I have no doubt, and you're thinking, what has this got to do with lateral work? Well, a common cheat with this is to dip through the head instead of keeping your eyes level. And if you can't keep your head level, you haven't really got a hope of the rest of your body following through. So you really want to keep your eyes level and train yourself that whenever you're turning with your head, you keep your eyes level, and hopefully you're more likely for your body to follow through. Okay, we're going to progress this on, and we're going to do your bow and arrow exercise. I will go sideways so you can see a little bit better. You need to be in a small lunge position, but not particularly big. Hands up in front, and before you start, check you've got equal weight through your feet, knees pointing ahead and headlights to the front. Then you draw one hand back and turn to follow through, and then to the front, and repeat the other way. And as you're doing these movements, again think of being level, this time through your headlights and your shoulders. You also want to be aware of your feet and try to make sure you've got equal weight through both feet. Okay, we'll swap and do the same thing with the opposite lunge. Sometimes often people find that one diagonal is much easier than the other. So again, hands up. Once again, thinking level shoulders into the turn, level headlights into the turn, and that nice equal weight through your feet. Do one more. Okay, then I'm going to turn and face you again, and we're going to move on to your hips, and we're going to start loosening off, opening out through your hips. I suggest hands onto your headlights. Now you want to think about engaging your pelvic floor onto floor 3. Check your shoulders are back and down. You're bringing one leg up, out, and down. So it's up, out, and down. Trying to keep your upper body as still as you can. You will of course move through your upper body. It has to a little bit. But what you're wanting to avoid is really sinking and collapsing or tipping over to one side. So just because your leg is on the move doesn't mean your upper body has to start doing crazy things and joining in. This is also quite a good loosening up exercise to do before you get on the horse if you do tend to be a little bit stiff through your hips. One more with each leg. Keep checking your shoulders are back and down. Okay, then we're going to move on to your star lunges. I love this one because there are so many components to get right, but if you get it right, it works beautifully. So again, before you start, shoulders back and down, hands onto your headlights, think about your ropes, pelvic floor onto floor 3, then forwards and into a lunge. Diagonal into a lunge. Side lunge. Diagonal and then back. So nice and easy, yeah? But now you're into the movement. I want you to start thinking about all the different components. So that is keeping your shoulders level all the way through, keeping your headlights to the front all the way through. What we'll tend to find happens is that your headlights will start to dip out to the side. So if you're going to the side, they'll want to do that. And then your shoulders will follow through. You want to keep your upper body and your headlights pointing straight ahead at all times. Also, if you can, think about your ropes from ribs to pelvis and make sure that they are not stretching as you go in. We're going to do one last set and we're going to do them a little bit faster, or as fast as you can. Keeping shoulders, ropes and headlights all working. Hopefully you're not doing this on a nice wet lawn like I am, which is a little bit slippy. Lovely. Okay, then coming back to a neutral position, we're now going to work on your glutes a little bit more. We're going to do your standing clam. So bringing one leg up, tucking your foot in around your knee. Again, check where your shoulders go, because quite often when you go onto one leg, you'll find your shoulders stick to one side. So shoulders level, headlights forwards, pelvic floor onto floor 3, and then you're just in your usual clam, like you would lying down, but in standing, so keeping your upper body still. And then we're going to add in the extension part, so open, straighten, bend, close, open, straighten, bend, close. Nice and simple. Keeping those shoulders back and down and level, headlights to the front. One more of this one. Okay, then I'm going to swap and go to the other side. So again, get your balance first of all before you start. Check your shoulder position, back and down, ropes active, pelvic floor, headlights to the front, and then you are opening and closing, checking that those shoulders are staying level, that you're not dipping out to the side, and your headlights are staying ahead and not drifting off out to the side with your leg. And then we'll add in open, straighten, bend and close. And something else just to remember when you're doing the slightly more complicated exercises is making sure that you are still breathing. It's very easy, particularly the more complicated the exercise, not necessarily the more difficult physically, but the more components there are, the more likely you are to hold your breath because you're too busy concentrating on what you're trying to do, which is actually so often what happens when you're riding too. You're thinking so much about what you're doing, you end up holding your breath, and that is not helpful to you or the horse. One more of this one. Okay, then we're going to bring your legs back down. You now need, if you have one, a resistance band. If you don't, it is not the end of the world. You can do these next couple of exercises without having any form of resistance band at all. It's just useful. But this first one in particular, this is more about visual feedback. So we're going back onto one leg. Again, shoulders back and down and level, hands level, so approximately distance apart you would have them if you were holding reins. Headlights forwards, pelvic floor onto floor 3, and then you are turning your upper body from side to side. So this is a little bit of a balance exercise for sure, but I want you now to really think about, are your hands staying level? Because if you collapse through one side or you're weaker on one side, what you'll find is as you try and move your body, your hands will start to do different things. They'll start to drift apart, come up, and so on, which in terms of your contact for the horse is not great. Okay, we're going to make it a little bit different. Okay, I appreciate you don't ride in this position, but you want to challenge yourself off the horse so that once you're on the horse, of course, it's much easier. The better prepared you are, the easier it will be. So again, trying to keep your balance and keep your arms and shoulders level, keep your headlights to the front, think about your ropes between ribs and pelvis. Okay, let's swap and do the same thing back on the other leg. So starting off your easy position, shoulders back and down and level, headlights forwards, pelvic floor ropes, and then off you go. Keeping those hands level, keeping your shoulders level into the turn. So really using your resistance band almost to give you a slightly modified version of the contact you'd have with your horse's mouth, i.e. it doesn't change. Okay, then we'll make it the slightly harder one, so a bit more band, shoulders back and down, arms level, and off you go. Go again, keeping those headlights to the front. So you're turning through the upper body, but your shoulders are staying level, hopefully. It's where your ropes become important so that you're not arching forwards through your back and doming through your ribs. Do one more each way. Okay, right, we're now going back onto one leg, but onto the first leg. You need to stand, if you've got a band, with one foot on the end of your band. Nice slippery floor to be on. Okay, we're going to do, I call this the night fever exercise because it looks like the night fever move, but basically we're working a combination of shoulder muscles, but also it's a really good opportunity to be thinking about shoulder position and pelvic position as well. So you want your hand turned in towards your pelvis, thumb turned inwards. Then go on to one leg. Shoulders back and down, headlights forwards, and you're turning up and out with your thumb, and down and in. So it's up and out, and down and in. And all this movement is coming purely from your shoulder. Your shoulders themselves are staying level, your headlights are staying level, and those ropes are staying the same length and not stretching. Use your pelvic floor as well, make sure it stays onto floor 3, and definitely make sure you stay breathing. If you have got a resistance band and this is uncomfortable, go to about 90 degrees instead. That's absolutely fine. You're still working the same muscles and the same sort of pattern. Absolutely fine. Okay, and then we're going to swap and do the same the other side. So get your hand again turned in, so thumb turned in towards your pelvis, onto one leg. Check shoulders, headlights, ropes, and pelvic floor. Then it's up and out, and down and in. Up and out, down and in. So you want to feel that as you get to the top, you could almost thumb a lift with your thumb. Again, if you need to, you can just go to the 90-degree mark, if that's easier for your shoulder. Always keeping shoulders level, headlights level, ropes gently active, pelvic floor onto floor 3. And again, don't forget to breathe. There's so many things to be thinking about. Don't forget to breathe. Do a couple more. Lovely. Okay, then we'll get rid of your bands. And then just to make sure you're not feeling too stiff and tight through your legs, first of all, just have a little loosen off, walk on the spot. It's always really useful to do this when you've been doing a lot of leg work, just because you can get quite tense. So loosen off. This is kind of like your walk on a long rein. Okay, and then loosen off through your shoulders, so some nice big shoulder rolls. I find this a really revealing exercise to do. It's very simple, but quite often when there's a lot of tension, it's quite difficult to get the shoulders right up around the ears. And sometimes doing them individually can be quite telling too if one goes more easily than the other. You're not going to be straight on the horse, you're not going to be level in your lateral work, your shoulders are doing different things. Okay, and then when you finish, just check again, you've got that nice long spine coming upwards, and nice equal weight down through your feet. So we're done for today. I hope that's been really useful. I'll be coming back with more of these sessions over the coming weeks, so keep tuned in, and thank you for watching. Take care and bye bye.